I wanted to give a huge mahalo and a huge shout out to those people who steady follow me and support me and believe in my mission for women empowerment. And yeah, that's what we're all about: women empowerment and femininity, guys. You know, we talk about relationships, we talk about sex, we talk about parenting, we talk about situations that we go through as single moms, or stepmoms, or auntie, uncle, cousin, grandma, or auntie, uncle. It just goes together: auntie, uncle, auntie, cousins, sisters, anybody who needs it, who's parenting, who's has guardianship. Yeah, we talk about all the growing pains raising children. Okay, so stay tuned. So the question is, why do women, the word is weaponize their children towards their fathers? Why do women do that? And we're talking about baby mamas and baby daddies, ex-wives, ex-husbands. We're talking about mothers who use their children to satisfy their vengeance or revenge against the dads. Okay, we have deadbeat dads out there who truly don't give a shit about the kids. Okay, they don't give a shit. We have dads out there who want to try, but their situation doesn't allow them to, because maybe finances, maybe they are, going through some stuff, mental illness, sickness, depression, drug addiction, all those things. And then we're talking about fathers who are there, who are trying to be there, who want to be there, who love their children, who want to be a part of their lives, who want to be an influence, who want to be a positive role model. But then you have the baby mamas, okay, that is just acting crazy, and they don't want to, for some reason, they don't allow, or they don't want their children to see the dads because they're pissed off at them. They're pissed off. They want to ruin their lives. They want to, because they're hurt, they're mad, they're angry, they're upset. So we're gonna talk about why it's hurting the children more than good. Okay, many of us have our reasons for leaving a relationship as women. Okay, we have our reasons for leaving the relationship, whether it be physical, mental, emotional, drug use, all that, alcoholism, whatever the situation, married or not. When you left, you decided to leave. It was your choice to leave. Yet at the same time, you still are pissed off about the situation because you went through so much hurt and pain and struggle, and things didn't turn out the way you wanted it to, or whatever, or you just couldn't take it anymore and you just left. Okay, and some mamas will be pissed off about that, and they'll use the children against that. Now we have the guys who ain't fool around, who ain't cheat and this and that, and and all that kind of stuff. You know what? You still shouldn't be pissed off, and you still shouldn't use your children against their father, because again, you're doing more bad than good for the child. Okay, so we're gonna talk about that. Why, and yeah, I'm gonna share some stuff. So just beginning with myself. Okay, with myself, I left my marriage, and I say I left my marriage because I didn't want the marriage anymore. Although I was not the one that left the house, I had my ex-husband leave the house. Um, because it just made sense. We both knew it made sense. It was not a happy breakup. It was not a happy divorce. It was not. It was kind of rough, emotionally, mentally. It was rough, and but hey, I'm here. We're here. He's happy now, and we're both doing our lives, and we both um, have raised our children. Okay, both have done the best we could and the best that we knew how. Now, when I first left, when I first decided that I didn't want to be in the marriage, I knew because I felt no interest in him, and that's not fair. That wasn't fair. And because of the home front that I came from, it was a broken marriage. I didn't want to be stuck in an unhappy marriage. I didn't want to be depressed. I didn't want to turn to alcohol. I didn't want to, my childhood had entailed a lot of drinking in my childhood. Um, it entailed alcoholism, and so I didn't want that for my children, and I didn't want that for myself. I didn't want to subject my children to the things that I was subjected to as a child. I didn't want to subject them so much to the things that I was subjected to as a child that, let me tell you, my femininity was out the window and my masculinity just took over. Where nobody could tell me shit about my kids, nobody could tell me about how I'm raising them, what I'm doing with them, or how I feel. Nothing. I did what I wanted to do, and it was like that for a long time. The one thing that I never did use my children against their fathers. Never did. I never did do that because, in all honesty, ladies, what you and your man went through, or what you and your husband, or now your ex-husband, or ex-husband to be, whatever, baby daddy, it has nothing to do with the child. Nothing. You both consented to having this child. You both consented to the act in producing this child and reproducing human life. So, taking that into consideration, you wanted him and you wanted her. So, the only thing that has to do with this child is that you guys created this child. And it has nothing to do, the turmoil, the hurt, unless the child was directly involved with the abuse at the same time, physical abuse, sexual abuse, whatever it was, mental, emotional. The thing is, you should not use the child against their dad, their father, especially if the father has been an active participant in their life when you guys were together. That is the hard part right there. And then just ripping the child away from the father, that is no good. That is no good. That is no good. You just creating craziness in your child's mind. You're creating confusion in the child. And there's a lot of baby mamas out there and exes that bash the dads. They talk shit about the dads to the child. And I'm gonna be real honest and very transparent with you. I've done those things before. I'm not perfect. I'm not perfect at all, but I never, ever, ever stopped my children from spending time with their fathers. Never. Never, never, never. There's no excuse for bashing the child's father to them or talking shit to them. There's no excuse. But yes, I was angry. I was angry and I was pissed off. I was pissed off because, you never think that when you get married that you're gonna not be with that person, because the ultimate goal in a marriage is for till death do us part. You know what I mean? It's till death do us part. Excuse me. Burp. So, and then the situations that happen, people sometimes they just allow it to happen, and then they turn bitter and unhappy. I, for one, I wasn't going to do that. um I was angry for a time because of my failed relationship, the failed efforts between the two of us to try to make it work. um it was sad. It was sad. My marriage was sad, as far as the breakup itself, because my ex-husband is a good man. He is a good man, but we are now in our wisdom years, and we have matured, and we have, over the years, we have put aside all our differences to care for our children. However, it doesn't mean that it was easy. It was very difficult. It was very difficult because there was still lack of communication with us. There wasn't proper communication when there was communication. We went through some hard times, and in learning not to manipulate and question our children, right? But let me tell you, when a child gets stressed out because the two parents are going at it through the children, yeah, the two parents are going at it through the children. A father should never question his children about the mom, and I find that a problem. If they didn't want the breakup, if one didn't want the breakup, they're gonna question the child about the mom. And that's happened in my experience. And I can understand why stuff like that can happen. It's normal, but at the same time it's toxic. It's super toxic. But when a child gets stressed, their bodies cannot handle that stress, and then it'll start to physically show up with hives, with rash, with eating disorders, with school and education. It's gonna show up, and all of that stuff. So bashing the father to the child, you're not doing any good. You're not doing any good for the child. You're only creating drama and unnecessary stress. They don't need the same way. You shouldn't be fighting in front of your children is the same way that you shouldn't be talking shit to them. You shouldn't. There is there is fathers out there who are really trying to be a part of their children's lives. There's fathers out there who are active on a regular basis, who want to be a part of their children's lives. And even though the moms might say, yeah, okay, yeah, still, they still may be weaponizing the children against the dads, teaching them to have hate, teaching them to be angry with their fathers. Now, the important thing is we have to remember that, again, everything that you went through with that parent has nothing to do with your child. So speaking negatively about the father to the child, or in front of the child, Now, I've been guilty of doing that when I'm gossiping. I'm not perfect, but let me tell you, I've learned a lot. It's if I've seen the effects of it, and it is not a good deal. It is really not. So think twice about that, because your children hear everything, they see everything, they soak up everything like a sponge. And guess what? It's not good. It's not good. It makes them feel a certain way about their dad. If your baby's father is paying you any type of child support through the Child Support Enforcement Agency or just directly to you, your baby's father, there should be no question if he wants to see the child. There should be no question. Okay? There should be no, well, I don't know, because you don't make effort, you don't do this, you don't do that, and all that kind of stuff. Listen, I'm gonna tell you, as mothers, we should advocate for the fathers. Here's what I mean. You should be able to communicate with your baby's dad or your ex-husband that it's their responsibility to build a relationship with their child. If your baby is 5, 6, 7 years old and younger, 8 years old, 9 years old, 10 years old and younger, you, as the father, should not be expecting your child to call you every night. You should be over there making, if your child has a busy schedule and there's, in another state, the time zone is different, their days, the schedule, you cannot expect your child to be calling you every day. You cannot expect that. It is your responsibility as the father to call, to make time to call, to say hello, to, don't feel that just because you're the baby's father and you pay child support, that child should have to call you every night. Okay, no. And I'm talking about this because that was the issue that I had. Okay, for some reason, my baby daddy thought that my daughter had to call him every night. She's 4 and 5 years old. All the way up until just recently, he realizes that, it's not her responsibility. We live 3 hours ahead of him. Brother, you call. You make the time. It's your responsibility to make the time. If you want to be in the child's life, if you want the child to have a relationship with you, and you don't want nobody else raising your child like that, then guess what? You the one who got to step up and make that time and make that call to your child. No. No. And now, as a mother, every time my baby daddy texts me and said, have baby call me please, I said, okay, will do, or I don't answer, but I've always, and I can put my right hand on the Bible. If you guys think I lying, whatever, I've always encouraged that. I've always said, hey, call your dad, call your dad, call your dad, call your dad, call your dad. But at some point, she's not, she's a child. She has friends. She has a life. She has a schedule. She has to sleep. She has, she is not supposed to be going, oh my God, I better call my dad. Oh my God, I better call my dad. Oh my God. She forgets. Like 20 minutes after I tell her, she forgets. Why? Because she's a child. That's the most sensible reason to have you as the dad Be the one to freaking call your child and keep in touch. That's the more sensible reason to be responsible and accountable for being a parent, and you the one stepping up to the plate and making sure that you stay in connection with your child. It's not your child's responsibility. Period. Okay? I'm just saying. Listen. Don't expect your baby mama to make a schedule for you, the adult father. Maybe this sound like when Ben says Shinya, but no, seriously. There's men out there who expect that. You know? Children don't understand that at that age. They don't really understand the separation thing, and then having, making that commitment to stay in touch. They don't understand that. What they understand is who's in front of them taking care of them. Period. That's what they understand. Okay? So no expect your baby to understand, oh, you live 5,000 miles away and 6 hours ahead, and they don't call you. And that they're supposed to call you because you the father. No. That is not reality, okay? They understand that it's their siblings that's there in front of them every single day of their life. It's the mother that's there in front of them every single day of their life, and the extended family that's around them. Their best friends, family, or the cousins that are around them, the people that they interact on a regular basis with. That is what makes sense to them, and that they're going to be more. And come on, it's coming. So that's what I gotta say about that. Okay, that's what I gotta say about that. Now, for those baby mamas out there who have baby daddies and ex-husbands and all that are the ones who call, check up, have conversations, text, all that kind of stuff. Guess what? Don't butt into that relationship. Don't butt into that relationship, because you know why? That's not your relationship. Okay? Now, if there's certain things about your baby daddy that you cannot allow to happen with your child, you can definitely advocate or mediate, or whatever you want to call that, regulate that situation. You can. You definitely can, because I've done it, and I've done it. It's not easy. You never know what to expect from your baby daddy, the response of how you're gonna bring things up to him, but you have to nip it in the bud ASAP, because the baby dad sometimes will be manipulative and will try to question the child, and will try to say certain things to the child, make the child feel sad about not calling, make the child feel guilty about not calling. Well, no, cut that out. You stop that. And the only way that you're gonna do that is to make sure that you have a tight, close relationship, open relationship, as much as needed, on a need to know basis with your children. Okay? And when that happens, guess what? You get on that phone and you text or you call them and you tell them, brother, this is not how it's gonna go down. You're not going to manipulate my children. You're not going to talk to my daughter. You're not going to question her. You're not going to do this. You're not going to do that, or else I will stop. I will stop all communication. And it's not a threat. You're protecting your child. Okay? And again, going back. I'm not saying that I was one of those perfect baby mamas who didn't talk shit about my baby daddy or whatever, my ex-husband, in front of my children, or to my children. And I will say that that was wrong, that was wrong, that was wrong. And let me tell you, there are a lot of wounds that had to be healed because of that. There are a lot of wounds. Okay? So I'm not preaching. I'm not preaching and not practicing. This is things that I've learned as a single mom. Never, ever, ever try to come in between that relationship as far as telling them how to feel, telling them what to do, telling them this and that. The first thing you should do is to definitely talk to them about that when they do that kind of stuff, when they start to question your children, when they start to manipulate them. You need to definitely bring it up to them right away. Don't hold it back. Don't hold it back. Don't hold it back. Don't hold it back. The reason why it's not good to bash your baby's dad or your ex-husband, the father of your children, just to put it all together, is because you're teaching them to disrespect the male authority of their father. And they should not disrespect the authority of their father. They should not. Obviously, the brother cared for his children, right? So he wouldn't be making an effort to actually be an active participant in their child's life if he didn't care. So if you're talking shit and you bashing them and you telling them all negative stuff about their father, they're not going to respect their father. They're going to think he's a piece of shit the way you explained it. My thoughts about my ex-husband and my baby's father has nothing to do with my children. Of course, like I said, I learned that. And we, like I said, there was wounds. There's wounds that need to be healed from it. So, if you guys never know, my daughter went back home to Hawaii for the summer. And she just came home. She was gone for a couple months. And let me tell you, this mama was on vacation. I was free. I was doing my own thing. I was having a good time. And I was working a lot. Working hard. Working. But before she went, I did have some concerns because of what I've seen and experienced. Not just directly the experience that I had to go through directly to me, just me and him, but as far as my family unit, was concerned. There was activities and things that happened in my family household with my baby's dad that concerned me. And then again, when he came to visit, Brother did some shady stuff, which I never liked. I did post that on Facebook. That was a few years ago. I never liked the what he did, and so I laid it out all on the table for him. And I told him what I expected from him. I told him that what I did not want to hear from that visit. I told him that what my daughter expects and how she should be able to make certain decisions because of the fact that she got a big family over there, right? And she has to see everybody. She has to spend time with everybody. And I told him that she should not be a part of his um, livelihood. Um, and that if he's gonna do that and I find out, it's over. It's over. Period. And yeah. And I told him she's a good girl. She is a good girl. So and he agreed. He agreed with me, and it turned out to be a very very nice summer for her. It turned out to be a lot of fun. She enjoyed herself spending time with him. And in the end, there's not really much to tell because however she spent her time with her dad, that's her time with her dad. Of course, I want to see pictures and things and memories that she has of her time spent there. But that time is special for her. I When she came home, even though my curious mind wanna know certain things, of course I'm not gonna instigate that. That's some bullshit. So I was very general and basic. Was it good? Did he treat you good? Was it, you had fun, you enjoyed your time, this and all that basic stuff. And how she answered me is how she answered me. And she's been home for about 24 hours. Um, and she seems to be normal. And that's honestly my main concern was, is she gonna be brand new? Is she gonna be brand new when she comes home? But actually no. Actually very much not so, as far as I've seen yet. But she's still enjoying her summer vacation. She still has some time. So she's enjoying her summer vacation still yet with her best friend. And yeah, so I still got some freedom. Okay, I still got some freedom. Anyway, but I just wanted to say that I have worked really, really hard to get to build this relationship like this with my baby's father. It was a rough road, and it's a continuing process. It's a continuing process. Of course, for myself, I still don't trust him. I still don't trust him on certain levels, and that's okay. That's my Kuliana. It has nothing to do with my daughter. I did not put that on her. I did not. Um, but I do believe that he's learning himself. Yeah, and we all are putting aside our whatever bullshit slash differences for the sake of our children. For the sake of our children, and mind you, he's raised my two other children too. So dealing with that too is just as much as I have to deal with his biological daughter. Mine and his, our child. And because they have a relationship, my two other children have a relationship with him. We do have conversations about the relationship, and for my adult children, I no longer have to guide that. It's up to them how they're going to deal with him. They know who he is, they know how he is, they know his history, they know everything about him. So guess what? I don't have to do nothing. It's up to them. They're both adults. They both get their own mind. They both know when to say, okay, I love you, but I gotta go. Or, ooh, it was a good time. Or control the situation. They have their own minds to speak. At this time, for my youngest, I've talked to her about speaking her mind. When she feels uncomfortable, then she should be allowed to say, and that is another thing that I brought up to him as well. I said, if she feels uncomfortable in a certain situation, you will pay attention to her and you will allow her to feel the way she feels, and you will make her feel safe and secure. You will not put her in a dangerous situation or in a situation that she doesn't feel comfortable in. And if she feels uncomfortable, I will make arrangements for her to leave your house. And I mean, I hate to sound like a bitch, but that's just the relationship that I've had to build with him because of the fact that the trust is not there, you know? And it's my right to have no trust on certain levels with him. Only because I know the history of his livelihood. Which is the reason why I left him and I came to Las Vegas by myself with my two children. So that's that, it's hard work, but you shouldn't be bashing your baby daddy and your ex-husband, the father. Don't bash the father. Just don't. Um understand your child's father, who he is, and understand that you're willing to assist in the relationship. You're willing to assist. And the reason why we need to have our children have a relationship with their father is because it creates a stable foundation whether or not you guys are together. They need to have that male bonding. They need to feel that masculine energy. Both girls and boys need to feel that masculine energy of their parent. Because what happens is when they don't have the father, the male bonding of their father, they're gonna start seeking that bond with their lovers or their boyfriend, girlfriend, or whoever they end up in a relationship as an adult. And they're gonna keep searching for that security from that person, and it's not that person's responsibility to create that security for themselves, for them. They need to be able to know that their father is the one that creates that security and their confidence. It sets the foundation for their self-confidence as they go out into the world as well. As much as the nurturing of the mother. A mother cannot be in all essence. Okay, I know they say, oh, happy Father's Day to mothers, and you know what, I appreciate that. I'm not even saying that there's a lot wrong. That's wrong to say that, because a lot of times the mother has to be a single mom, has to be the male and the female, meaning her masculine energy needs to come out. The masculine energy in a woman is what resolves situations and puts up the defense for protection for their family. And when there's a situation, they can go and they're able to handle it. It helps them to think on their feet. When there's an emergency, it helps them to, really, really take care of their child. When it comes to physical and emotional stuff, when the child is going through some kind of stress or whatever, going through a situation, and they cannot defend themselves, a mother has to step up and bring out her masculine energy and be there and defend her child. At the same time, she has to be a mom and nurture her child, be loving, care for their wounds, be mentally and emotionally open to receive their child's their child's willing to be open and share with them, especially at a very young, tender age. It's important. But in reality, a mom is not really masculine enough to create a sense of security for that child, that create that secure foundation for their child, meaning that strong, protective foundation that they would get from their father. No, cannot. Cannot. Really cannot. Now, there's been and then and you guys might disagree, but this is from my point of view, my thought, and my experience from what I've seen. Maybe it's according to the ability of the mother. I don't know. You know, maybe some mothers can, but in most cases, no, not really. There's always some type of damage that's done. If the father's not active, and so really the mom is cannot be that masculine. The mom cannot be that masculine. There's The man was created to provide safety and security and to provide for their family. Yes, in today's society, a woman going to say, I don't need no man, whatever. Whatever, you guys know my thoughts about that, whatever. Unless she's a lesbian and she truly loves women, okay, that's a whole different story, but we're not talking about that right now. We're talking about fathers. Fathers, fathers, fathers. So, yeah. Well, I hope that this what I had to say tonight helps you, and it makes you feel like yeah, you can do it. If you really want your baby's dad to be in your child's life, we have to advocate for it. We have to advocate for that relationship to be there, to exist, and encourage it, and be very bold about it. If you're gonna do it, and trust your your instincts as a mother. You have the ability to set guidelines and let them know. Let them know that this is what you expect from them and what you don't want, and you have to let them know that you're willing to support it. But there can't be no bullshit. If there's bullshit, hey, it's done. No more. No more, no more. And they're talking about like I said, manipulation, drugs, doing drugs in front of your child, doing stupid stuff and partying and this and that and whatnot. No. Make sure that time is set for that child and it's with the father. And just let them know, hey, I'm willing to work around your schedule. You're gonna have to bend like that sometimes. You know what I mean? You're really gonna have to bend. But if you show that you and the baby's father is willing to work together to have that relationship, let me tell you, that child will be secure. That child will be secure. Way more secure than you think if you don't allow the dad to be in the child's life. I'm telling you. For real. Unless the dad is super absent. Super gone. Super not there. Super not there. And even if the father is deceased, of course, yes. I'm not talking about, well, your child is screwed if the father passed away. No, I'm not saying that. This is totally different. We're talking about a certain situation, certain dynamics, and the good that you can get out of co-parenting, really co-parenting. Yeah, even thousands and thousands of miles away. But anyways, guys, thank you so much for joining me. I am so glad that you are watching my channel. Thank you so much. I appreciate it. I hope you guys learned something. I hope you guys know that whatever situation you're going through, you can rise above it. And I'm talking strictly about today's episode. That's it. Today's episode is about advocating for your child to have a relationship with their father. Period. It's important. It's needed. They need their father and their father needs them. Yeah. So, and then yet, if you damage that relationship, later on, you are going to be the responsible one, and you will have to be the one to be accountable and to answer to your child as to why they don't have a relationship with their father. If you want to be shitty like that, yeah. So, Think about that. I really appreciate your support, and yeah, mad love to you, mad love, and yeah, mahalo. I appreciate it so much. Well, that's all I got to say tonight. Alright, guys, you guys have a good night, and yeah, I see you guys later. Laters.
LV, your boy here, ride. Vegas be the place, alright. Plenty in your ride, just glide. Hands in the air, alright.